Well, the sun's finally come out. I've got my little fluffy microphone attached, so hopefully there's not too much background noise. I have got the issue with the air leak again. It's not a huge deal because I can just pump up the filter head and that takes care of it. But here's some spare fuel lines that I've got. So I also bought some fuel line connectors. These are 8mm connectors. I got a bag of them. I'll get that out in a minute. But what's happened for me is you can see the corrosion on these fuel lines. Now these actually came off a car at more than 50,000 miles. They presumably leave the factory looking more like this. I've actually put a little bit of tape on there. That's exactly what I've done with the one that's currently on the car. So obviously that insulating tape has started to break down somewhat. So the air leak is here, caused by corrosion there. Now presumably that's because there's a lot of salt on the roads here in the winter, and all the spray goes up and it goes through the grill and it starts to corrode here. So the quick release fuel line comes over that point, but this part is left exposed. So the question I've got is, should I simply take this off here? Well, I'll use this better looking one. I'll probably paint it before I actually put it on though. Should I cut it off there and then attempt to sort of stretch the nylon fuel line and fit this one, or should I cut the fuel line, say here, and then heat the nylon fuel line up and insert the 8mm PVC joining clip? What do you reckon? So this is a question for today. I think what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to tape up the corroded part to get an airtight seal again. It did work for months. It was fine. So the question is, should I cut this here, and then, you know, once it's cut, put a new bit onto it, just cutting off as little as I can from the existing one, or should I go onto the straight part, cut that, put a joining clip? I've got a bag of them here. I got them through wherever the hell they've gone, somewhere in my pocket. Yeah, little bag of them there. Got them from AliExpress. I think they were about £1 for 6 or something, or 5. Maybe it was 5. Don't think I've lost one. Maybe it's not a good idea to use those. Maybe it's better to just do the clip. So anyway, I'll go into the car and I'll show you exactly what the problem is and where the problem is. Okay then, so I've popped the bonnet, or the trunk, depending on where you come from. The actual problem is, now can I put the light on? Yeah, there we go, there's the light. So you'll see that line there, the hard line with the metal nut. Just below it there's a fuel line connection. You'll see the orange clip. I don't know if that's focusing on it or not. But anyway, that one there with the orange mark, that's the problem. So it's corroded. So what I think happens is you've got all the shit of the day comes through, all the corrosion comes through here in the winter, and then it sits on this bit of exposed metal and causes a problem with corrosion. Obviously you've got heat, salty water, Not really the best combination. Now, what you'll experience is you'll have an extended crank. So you might think, oh, it could be my glow plugs that are at fault, but the workaround that I've found, and I'll stop just now. So here's the workaround. There's your pump, your filter head. So this part here, this plunger, which allows you to pressurize the system, it'll be quite easy to push if it's not pressurized. So there, that's really easy to push. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's really quite firm now. Now I don't know if I can see any fluid dripping down there. Yep, there's a little bit. See that glistening bit? That's the fuel dripping down from one of these unions. So if I go into the car, I'll stop it and I'll go into the car and start it. Alright, that's me in the car. Turn on. You just saw the glow plug go off there. Into neutral. Foot down. I'm going to turn off that. There we go. Turn the key. Right, there's a slightly extended bit there for turning the key, but you'll find that if you don't, let's turn it off. If you don't do the priming of the filter head there, you will crank and crank and crank probably 2, 3, 4 times, and it won't fire up because there's air in the system, and you have to get the system primed so that there's fuel. So the reason for that is there's a tiny little pinhole of corrosion. Again, I'll go through that. Right, so we're back out here to the example. So there's a tiny pinhole just in this section here on the car, and as long as you can stop the air seeping in, and then obviously the air gets in and the fuel goes further back down or whatever, the car won't start immediately. But as long as you can block that little hole up, it's fine. Now, I've never had a problem with a diesel car before, but obviously this is a design issue. If only they'd made this out of plastic, it would never have been a problem. But there's probably some drawback to plastic. Maybe they crack, or hot and cold, deteriorates them or something. Maybe you're better off with metal. But this one, as I say, you can see where I've put a bit of tape on it just for a demonstration. That will actually keep the air out, or the air leak, and it'll start. Turn the key off with the glow plug light, and it'll start virtually straight away. But just now, what I might do, I'm hopefully going to get some tips from the audience, some audience participation. I'll tape this up like that for now, and then it'll be running for however long until anybody gives me some better suggestions, whether or not I should just cut this end off, put that onto the old or the existing installed nylon fuel line, or should I join a piece using one of these, or are these not a good idea? They're I think they're polyurethane and supposedly fuel resistant, but may not be great with heat. That's the question there. So anyway, what have I got to do next? So back over to the car, just like the last time. You can see there's quite a lot of diesel gone down there after pressurising it. Very glistening. So the question now is, I'm just looking at that cable tie. I wonder why I had that cable tie on there. Not sure. So I'm obviously going to have to take the airbox out to get access, and then I'm going to have to undo this coolant line, drop that down, bring it back up here, hopefully not lose too much coolant, and then that'll give me as good as I can get to the bracket. There is a bracket that holds those two pipes on. Then I can disconnect them and see. You can see the fuel lines there. They're covered in some sort of wrap right in there. And that then goes all the way along here and down to the fuel pump. Now, that's it there, sorry. At the scrapyard, I found I couldn't get that off, because I was hoping just to remove the entire fuel line, which would be a much more sensible solution. But for the life of me, I could not figure out how to get that off the pump. So, next step, this needs to come off, that needs to be undone, this needs to be removed. I'll probably have to take the ECU connectors off as well to get the airbox up and out of the way. Right, so I've obviously taken the air intake off, quite a bit of rust starting to come here now. I've removed this coolant pipe, just a case of clamping the pipe clip with a pair of pliers. So this is the bit here where the problem is. So there is actually a bracket. I think I've got a spare one in here. I'm pretty sure that's the bracket that holds that on underneath there. I got a spare one when I was at the scrapyard. So it was pretty crispy down in there, so I'll need to double check which one it is. But anyway, that's the two lines. One's flow and one's return. So that shouldn't be too big a deal. I just need to figure out how I got the bolt undone that holds it into place. I'm sure that's what it was. Yeah, I think the bolt is there. I think there's a 10 or something mil. Let's go back and have a look at this thing. Yeah. Not 100% sure. It's a couple of months, well, it's a few months, last year sometime that I did this. But I think that's the one. I don't think I'm going to have to bother taking this out. We'll see. Well, I'm just back to regular microphone now. So there's paint and tape on there, and then this is to go on. That's that over, and then you've got that little gate bit, push that down, that should be on. I need to reroute these fuel lines up there. I'll do that two-handed. So that's that back on. I'll pressurize this. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, that seems to feel okay. So next thing is to put this coolant line back onto there, and then put this pipe clip back on.
Right, that's that hose clip back on there. There's the two 10mm bolts to go there. That seems a wee bit on the slack side to me, so I'm going to have a quick look at this. Yeah. I think that needs a bit of a clean up with some WD or something. I'll take it off and then have a look at it. Well, that's what that looks like. There's two bits of rubber that hold it on. I'm going to give it a quick clean down with some WD-40. Clean it up and refit it. But it doesn't feel like a very, very tight seal. So anyway, I'll give it a clean, see how it goes. So you'll see there is the two rubber bits and they go into there and there. So if you're pulling this off, that's what you do. I've cleaned it up a little bit and I'll refit that. So it was that way. Right. Well, that's it all back together. Everything taped up and out of sight. So, proof of the pudding. Right, we're in the car. Turn it on, glow plug light went off. Clutch down. Started there. That's a little bit longer than normal. Let's sit for a wee sec. If I'll stop it. Well, I'm back. It's about an hour later. So, glow light's gone off. Clutch down. It took a little bit longer than usual, but it's not like I'll just do it multiple times. So anyway, I'll keep my eye on it, see how it goes, and so if anybody has any wonderful ideas about what to do with that connection point, whether I should try to renew the whole line, splice a bit in, or heat up with a hairdryer the end, pull it out, put a new one in, I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments if you feel like doing it. Cheers!